we're back for the last exercise in chapter 7. This is problem solving, methods of persuasion using graphs. Now, please, I beg, I plead, read these things and do pay attention to this video because Mrs. Malone and I have been discussing this. This is probably the logically the most difficult exercise in chapter 7 from the old math series. So if you pay attention, it shouldn't be that difficult. If you try to just blow through this very quickly, you're going to get it wrong and you're going to keep getting it wrong. So please pay attention. Come on over. All right, so if you look, it says the graphs, and they're referring to graph 1 and 2, show the changing cost of Grandma's soup from 2000 to 2003. An advertisement for Grandma's soup says that the price has not changed much. Which graph supports the advertisement? Now, if you notice, they both have the same horizontal axis. It's labeled the same. It's in years, and it's the same years, 2000 through 2003. They both have a label or a title for the entire graph, and they both have the same vertical title. Now, what's the difference? This is where you have to, take the time and compare. What do you notice about the interval for graph 1? So it goes from $1, it starts at $1.50, and again, there's that little squiggly symbol that means the data from 0 to $1.49 has been omitted because it's not going to alter the outcome of the graph. Now, getting back to graph 1, look at the interval. It goes up from $1.50 to $1.60, $1.60 to $1.70, $1.70 to $1.80, $1.80 to $1.90. Now remember, in order to be a valid graph, the interval must go up the same amount each time. So it goes up by 10 cents each time. So yes, this is a valid graph. Notice how with a smaller interval, we get much steeper slopes with the data points. Now let's look over at graph 2. So again, from 0 to 49 cents, that data has been omitted because it doesn't alter the outcome of the graph that we see. Now, look at the interval. It goes from 50 cents to $1, $1 to $1.50, $1.50 to $2, $2 to $2.50. What's the interval? I'm hoping you recognize that it goes up 50 cents each time. So again, this is a valid graph. Now, this is the same data, and it's producing two different results. And if you notice, this line is starting to flatten out. Now, this is what people do all the time, and it is perfectly legal because the interval is going up the same each time. So how do we get graphs that look different using the same data? Well, you change the interval. So the big thing about 7-6 is looking at the interval. So the closer the interval, the steeper the line is going to be. The bigger the interval, the more the line is going to flatten out. So if we wanted to make this graph look like the average cost of Grandma's soup had not changed at all, so it's just a flat line, instead of a 50-cent interval, we could do a $1 interval, and then it would really look like this nice flat line, and that would support the argument that the cost really hasn't gone up. Now, if we really wanted to show to make it look like there was a huge rise in price, well, instead of a dime, we could go to 5 cents, and that line would be even steeper. So this is all about paying attention to these intervals. So please make sure you read step 1, 2, 3, 4, which I've kind of done. So let's do number 1 and 2 quickly. So it says, look at graph 1. How can you change the scale to make it look as though the change in price was even greater? Well, and I just said, so change the vertical interval to a nickel. That would be 5 cents. And you're going to get a much steeper, it's going to look like it's just virtually a straight line going up. Now, at 2, it says, how can you change the scale to make it look as though the price, the change in price is even smaller? Again, increase the interval. So, increase the interval to $1. And then you're going to have this nice flat line, and you're going to be saying, oh, sure, look at our graph. Our prices have barely changed, whereas somebody else would say, oh my goodness, the prices are just outlandish. They've been going up year after year after year. Now, I do want to point out on practice 7.6, these 4 questions are based on these 2 graphs. Make sure you pay very close attention to the intervals. Good luck with it.